So this job's turned into a disaster. Let me show you what's happened. A lot of lads contact me saying that they want to be an electrician. So I thought I'd make just a proper day of vlogging of what it can really be like, because when I started my apprenticeship, it wasn't quite what I expected. It is 5:46 and I've got a couple of hours driving to do to get to my job today. You'd be very lucky to be an electrician who works close to home, if I'm honest. I spent the first 8 years of my career driving all over the place to work, with a minimum normally of an hour and a half to 2 hours of driving each way. So don't be surprised if this is what you've got to do.
Before I hit the road, I need to get some fuel and get my caffeine hit. It was a long day yesterday and I'm still feeling it. As you can see there on my boots, which I'm trying to dry from yesterday's carnage, and I brought along a dry set of clothes so I'm not driving home in wet clothes again. There was torrential rainfall yesterday and it was absolute carnage. Lots of people commented saying they'd have walked away from the job, but what people don't realise is I'm doing a lot of work for YouTube customers and this ends up being hours away for me. So for me to drive away and come back again is like an additional 5 hours and it's simply not worth it. So I just need to push on and crack on with the job. So while we're on that subject, if you are looking for an EV charging point install, give me a call. I'm based in Portsmouth and I'm happy to travel a couple of hours. Another hold up on the M25 today turned out to be just a paddle. Have you ever priced a job without going to look at it first? Well, this is what can happen.
So now I'm going to educate you on why remote surveys are not always the best.
So as you can see, underneath the stairs is the meter, the consumer unit, and what you can see there is underfloor heating controls. And what I was told was the other side of the wall is an external wall, but it turns out to be a utility room, and this is where the charger is going to be installed.
So this job's turned into a disaster. Let me show you what's happened. So here I have the meter and everything that I need to get to, and we have the underfloor heating system here. So my plan was to come through with a cable just there. So what I done was I measured from here to the wall, which I'll show you now.
Sometimes as a tradesman, when you haven't quite got your bearings, mistakes can be made.
So what I done was I measured to this door frame, and then I measured from the door frame this side to underneath the utility room cupboards, and I drilled my hole. But what I didn't realise is next door is a toilet, and I didn't know about this offset wall. I've come into the toilet and my customer doesn't want any trunking run around to the consumer unit. The room, the other side is an office room, and again they don't want trunking that side. This is a new build house with concrete floors. I can't go up and lift the carpets and the flooring, so I'm at a stage now where my customers decided to call it off, which I understand, and I've now got to patch up this little hole, which is no problem, and go home. Originally, when I done the video call with my client, he for some reason thought that where that meter cupboard was, it was then the external wall, which is simply not the case. No one's fault, just mistakes have been made here, but no serious damage has been done. I've just got to fill a little hole and then we're back to square one. And that's the trouble with these new build houses. They need to either stop putting the supplies into the centre and put them on an external wall, or they need to run a decent supply to the garages, so then at least we can come off a consumer unit in there. And this is a classic example where they've just run a bit of twin and earth 2.5 to the garage to feed a couple of sockets and a light. It's just no good. These house builders have got to do better than this, especially when they're banging on about all this EV infrastructure not in place. They're making jobs like this absolutely impossible to do.
So while we're on the topic of the new build properties, another thing that's been left out by electricians is a Cat5 cable running from the meter to the charging position. I've been to so many new build houses now where there's just been a 6mm cable left in place for a charger without any consideration for the CT clamp. Anyway, that is a topic for another day. I'm going to get on with putting this house back together, pack up the van, and then get ready to head home again.
So it is now 11:10 and I'm heading home, but the day isn't over, and let me show you where this whole thing went wrong. So this job was organised on a WhatsApp conversation basically, where all the photos were sent through WhatsApp, and then I put a price together like I normally would and sent it over to be accepted. These are the photos that got sent to me and the description of the building.
The message I received was clear as day. Fuse box is the understairs cupboard. Next photo is the wall it backs onto, which is the external wall facing the drive. I really didn't need much more information, but as I've shown you, the utility room and the office room was missed out. So it's very important, if you're going to do any sort of remote surveys, photos are great, but maybe it's best to make sure you do that video call as well to make sure you don't miss out any potential rooms, and you've got all the information, you've seen everything that you need to see, and you won't end up in a situation like I did on this job. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all the support that you lot have shown me throughout this YouTube journey that I began a couple of years ago now, and if you would like to support me, it would be greatly appreciated. Please click a link in the description below.